Good evening, Eagles Nation, and welcome to the heart of Philly football. Can you believe the buzz swirling around Lincoln Financial Field right now? The Philadelphia Eagles, our green bleeding pride, are once again at the center of NFL trade rumors, and it's none other than star wide receiver A.J. Brown making headlines. So, buckle up, grab your Fly Eagles Fly gear, and let's dive into the latest on this blockbuster story that's got the entire league talking. Now, let's get right to the main event. According to ESPN's Adam Schefter, the Eagles are not expected to trade their superstar wideout A.J. Brown before the NFL trade deadline on November 5th. But here's the juicy part. The team is reportedly willing to listen to offers. That's right, folks. While Philly's front office isn't actively shopping Brown, they'd entertain a deal if, and only if, a team comes knocking with what Schefter calls a blockbuster offer. Think a haul of draft picks, a star player, or maybe even a combo that could reshape the Eagles' future. But hold your breath, because sources say that kind of jaw-dropping offer isn't likely to materialize before the deadline. So, for now, it looks like A.J. Brown staying put in the city of brotherly love, where fans are already chanting his name from South Philly to Center City. Let's break this down. A.J. Brown, at just 28 years old, is one of the NFL's premier talents at wide receiver. Drafted in the second round by the Tennessee Titans back in 2019, this Ole Miss product burst onto the scene with his physicality, speed, and knack for making contested catches. The Eagles made a bold move in 2022, trading a first and third round pick to bring him to Philly, and let me tell you, it's been a match made in football heaven. Since arriving, Brown's been a cornerstone of this offense, racking up explosive plays and earning the love of a fan base that lives and breathes Eagles football. His current 3-year, $96 million extension, $84 million of it guaranteed, shows just how much this team values him. In 2025 alone, despite battling some injuries, Brown's hauled in 14 catches for 151 yards and a touchdown in just 4 games. Not eye-popping numbers yet, but we all know what he's capable of when he's healthy. Speaking of health, here's the latest. Brown's sidelined for the Sunday's Week 8 matchup, but there's good news on the horizon. Schefter reports a realistic chance we'll see him back in action on November 10th. That's huge for an Eagles team looking to make a deep playoff run in a brutally competitive NFC East. Without Brown, quarterback Jalen Hurts leans heavily on other weapons like Devonta Smith and tight end Dallas Goedert. But let's be real, there's no replacing A.J.'s game-changing presence. His ability to stretch the field, break tackles, and turn a short pass into a 50-yard sprint is what makes this offense tick. Now, let's talk strategy. Why would the Eagles even consider listening to trade offers for a player of Brown's caliber? Well, it's all about leverage and long-term planning. General Manager Howie Roseman, one of the savviest executives in the game, knows the value of keeping options open. The Eagles are 4-3 this season, sitting in a tight NFC East race with the Dallas Cowboys and New York Giants lurking. Trading Brown seems unlikely, but if a team like, say, the Kansas City Chiefs or Buffalo Bills came calling with a package of multiple first-round picks or a proven star, Roseman might have to at least pick up the phone. It's the kind of move that could restock the roster with young talent or address needs on the defensive line or secondary, areas where Philly's shown some inconsistency this year. Let's take a step back and put this in historical context. The Eagles have a storied legacy of dominant wide receivers, from Harold Carmichael to Terrell Owens to Deshaun Jackson. But A.J. Brown, he's carving out his own place in Eagles lore. Since joining the team, he's posted back-to-back 1,400-yard seasons, a feat only matched in franchise history by Mike Quick in the 1980s. His chemistry with Jalen Hurts, a fellow 2020 draftee who's blossomed into a dual-threat superstar, has been electric. Remember that 67-yard touchdown bomb against the Giants last year? The link erupted, and "Fly Eagles Fly" echoed into the night. That's the kind of magic Brown brings to this team. But wait, there's more to this story. Let's talk about the fan base for a second. Eagles fans, you're the heartbeat of this team. From tailgates at the Link to watch parties in Old City, you live for moments like Nick Foles' Super Bowl 52 heroics or Brian Dawkins' bone-rattling hits. So, I can already hear the collective gasp at the thought of trading A.J. Brown. To get a sense of the pulse in Philly, I reached out to a fictional diehard fan, Joey from South Philly, who told me, "Trade A.J.? Are you kidding me? That's like trading cheesesteaks for kale salad. He's our guy, man. Hurts to Brown is poetry in motion." And Joey's not wrong. Brown's 6'1", 226-pound frame is a matchup nightmare for defenses, and losing him would sting. Let's dive deeper into the numbers. Brown's 151 yards through 4 games this season might seem modest, but context is everything. Injuries have slowed him down, and the Eagles' passing game has faced some tough secondaries early on. Compare that to his 2023 season, when he racked up 1,456 yards and 7 touchdowns, earning Pro Bowl honors. Across the league, only a handful of receivers, like Justin Jefferson or Tyreek Hill, can match his production when he's at his best. And here's a fun stat for you. Brown's yards after catch average ranks in the top 5 among NFL receivers since 2022. That means when he gets the ball, he's not just catching it. He's turning it into a highlight reel. Now, let's hear from the fictional sidelines. I caught up with Eagles head coach Nick Sirianni, in my imagination, and he had this to say: AJ's a leader, a playmaker, and the kind of guy who sets the tone in practice. We're building something special here, and he's a big part of it. That's the vibe in Philly right now, a team that's all in on contending, not rebuilding. On the flip side, a fictional NFL analyst, Sarah Thompson, weighed in: the Eagles are smart to listen to offers. If you can get a king's ransom for Brown, you could address gaps in the roster while leaning on Devonta Smith and Saquon Barkley. But it's a high bar. Brown's a rare talent. Let's talk rivalries for a moment, because you can't mention the Eagles without thinking about the NFC East. The Dallas Cowboys, New York Giants, and Washington Commanders are always gunning for Philly, and Brown's been a thorn in their side. Who can forget his 131-yard, 2-touchdown performance against Dallas in 2022? Cowboys fans are still having nightmares about that one. Trading him to an AFC team might keep him out of the division, but it could also mean facing him in a Super Bowl down the road. Imagine Brown lining up against Philly in a Chiefs jersey. That's a plot twist even M. Night Shyamalan couldn't dream up. So, what does this mean for the Eagles' season? With Brown likely staying, the focus shifts to getting him healthy and firing on all cylinders for a playoff push. The NFC is wide open this year, with teams like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and San Francisco 49ers looking strong, but Philly's got the talent to compete. Jalen Hurts, the former Alabama star who's become the face of this franchise, is playing at an MVP level. Pair him with Brown, Smith, and a revitalized Saquon Barkley, and this offense could be unstoppable. On defense, players like Haason Reddick and Darius Slay are holding down the fort, though the secondary could use some depth, a potential target if Roseman were to make a trade. Looking ahead, the Eagles face a tough stretch after their Week 8 bye, with matchups against the Bengals, Jaguars, and that always heated rivalry game against the Cowboys. If Brown returns on November 10th, as Schefter suggests, he could be the X-factor in a pivotal divisional clash. And let's not forget the bigger picture. A deep playoff run could cement this core: Hurts, Brown, Smith, and company, as the next great Eagles dynasty, following in the footsteps of the 2017 Super Bowl champs. Now, a bit of Eagles trivia to keep things fun. Did you know the Fly Eagles Fly fight song, sung by fans after every touchdown, dates back to 1950? It's one of the oldest in the NFL, and it's still belted out with unrivaled passion at the Link. Or how about this? The Eagles' 2017 Super Bowl win over the Patriots was Philly's first and only Lombardi trophy, a moment immortalized by Zach Ertz's diving touchdown and Brandon Graham's strip sack on Tom Brady. Moments like that remind us why we bleed green. Pop culture tie-in. Picture this: A.J. Brown's explosive plays are like something out of a Marvel movie. Think Thor hammering through defenses. And with Philly's own Kevin Hart probably hyping up the team on social media, the Eagles are more than a football team, they're a cultural force. Just last week, Hart was spotted at a Sixers game rocking an Eagles hat, proving the city's sports scene is as tight-knit as it gets. So, what's next for Eagles Nation? Keep your eyes on the trade deadline, but don't hold your breath for a Brown deal. It's looking like he'll stay right where he belongs. In the meantime, get ready for a wild ride as the Eagles chase another Super Bowl. Will Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown light up the scoreboard? Can this team outmuscle the NFC East and make a statement in the playoffs? There's only one way to find out. Eagles fans, this is your call to action. Head to grok.com or the X app to join the conversation. Share your thoughts on A.J. Brown, and stay locked in for every play this season. And don't miss our next report, where we'll break down the Eagles' Week 9 matchup and what it means for their playoff hopes. Until then, keep those wings up, Philly, and let's soar together. Fly, Eagles, fly.